tiwantiwa tiwa làṣà tiwa níṣe ọmọ aláṣà tó dá múṣémúṣé ni wá ìṣe wa ó dá múṣémúṣé ní gbogbo àgbáyé pátápátá kò síbi tá a lè filẹ̀ Yorùbá wé kí ló dé táwa mọ̀ra wa táwa mọ̀ yí ara wa táwa mọ̀ yìí pé odidi erin la gbèrú sórí táwa ń fẹsẹ̀ wà hò rẹ̀ kò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. olórí ẹ sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká múra ara àṣà ìbílẹ̀ Yorùbá àtòhun àdáyébá iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ iṣẹ́ ọnà ijó alárinrin ewì ọ̀fọ̀ òwe ìjálá aṣọ wíwọ̀ pẹ̀lú irun orí obìnrin eré orí ìtàgé ẹ̀kọ́ tó yè kóró kó má parẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká múra. It is on this note that I'm saying good afternoon to you listeners back home wherever you may be, fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers and everyone listening to us or watching us on the program Oju Inu Agba Oye on the radio, Aloore radio. You can come with us now on your Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Aloore radio, and on YouTube, Aloore radio, website www.alooreradio.com, and on your mobile apps. We are available there, even on Play Store. And the number to reach us at is 090-3985-3731. Good afternoon once again. Today we are a very, very important personality, a very important guest, who's going to throw a lot of light on some of those things perhaps that you've been wondering, what is this all about? Who is this? What is this? All those who will shed light on it today. So please stay tuned and remain with us. Wow, welcome again to the program. This afternoon I have a big brother here in the studio with me. Very soon I'm sure you've been seeing him, but you may be wondering, I think I know him. No, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, you do. You know him. His name is Dr. Sheye Oyeleye. Now, who is Dr. Sheye Oyeleye? He is the Director General of, I'm going to hold that one for you for a little bit, just to tease you a little bit. Dawn Commission, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, is right here with me in the studio today. My brother, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
Nice to have you.
And,
you look sharp.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, viewers and listeners from all over the world. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Wow. He didn't just come alone. He came with a really beautiful, a good Yoruba, well-behaved young lady who happens to be the executive assistant to the Director General, Dawn Commission, Titilayo Afolabi. Thanks for coming on this program this afternoon. Well, my brother Sheye, if you don't mind me calling you by your first name.
Totally acceptable.
Wow. Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. What is that?
Thank you. Dawn Commission as in a shortened version. Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. It is the organization that was set up by the 6 Southwest states in 2013.
Wow.
To midwife the, I don't like to use the word integration.
Okay.
Let us start with to midwife cooperation among 6 Southwest states.
Okay.
And I said 2013, that was when the commission started. But prior to 2013, a group of intellectuals had been meeting over like a 2-year period at different seminars and retreats and forums, where they came up with the idea of development agenda for Western Nigeria. It was born out of the fact that they said we used to have a single region called the Western region in the olden days, which was then divided into 6 states.
Okay.
And prior to the coming of Dawn, there wasn't really any platform for these 6 states to talk to each other. You'll be surprised that the Commissioner for Information and Culture in Ogun didn't know who the Commissioner for Information and Culture in Oyo was in those days.
Lord.
So they didn't have that platform for them to even talk.
Wow.
Not to talk of sharing ideas or anything. So when those eggheads, intellectuals, academicians, some politicians, they all came together over a 2-year period and said, look, this region needs to rediscover its past, its glorious past.
Yes.
Oyo State, as an example, was called the Pacesetter State as a result of the old Western region. So they said, we need to rediscover our past. And the best way to do it is for these 6 contiguous states, and by the grace of God, because they speak the same language, share the same culture, everything is more or less the same. They said, look, we shouldn't allow artificial boundaries drawn up by the military to now divide us. Because what we used to do is you find Osho doing his own little thing, Ondo doing his own thing, or you're doing. So we said, no, let us have a platform where we can share ideas, where we can share developmental initiatives. And if we do this, and as the Yoruba say, Agbajowo,
Soya.
at all. So that was basically the underpinning idea for the setting up of Dawn itself. That the 6 states need to collaborate. The 6 states need to think together, work together. By so doing, you can then start attracting a faster pace of development rather than states working in silos. And don't forget that the world itself, over the last 30, 40 years, started moving away from working in silos. More and more states and countries itself were coming together in blocks.
In the global...
Exactly. The world was becoming a global village in short.
Exactly.
So you find the South American states or Central American states having their own bloc.
Exactly.
You have the European Union working together.
Yes.
So we said, let us now start. Exactly. Let us find that platform. So it was that idea that those eggheads now took to the governors at the tail end of 2012.
Okay.
They took it to them that look, this is the Bible, or this is the book for development, which we will want your states as Southwest states to adopt. And thankfully, without any political affiliation or anything, the 6 states said, the 6 governors then said, this is a good idea. We need to have a platform to work together.
Yes.
So that was what then gave back. They now, so at the City Hall in 2012, so it was at the tail end of 2011 they came together. At the City Hall in Lagos in 2012. Yeah, you were there, sir. Yes. At the City Hall, they all came together and said, we're going to then have an independent commission that will midwife this process. Yes. And that was what gave birth to Dawn. So they said, and where else will the capital be but Ibadan?
Yes.
Ibadan being the capital of old Western region.
Yes.
Ibadan being the pacesetters, as you rightly said. So it wasn't a difficult decision when they chose Ibadan as the capital. Wow. And July 2013, July 24 to be precise, all the governors came to Cocoa House to inaugurate the Dawn Commission.
That's exactly 10 years ago.
Yeah. And don't forget, sir, that part of the intellectuals that gave birth to Dawn was your humble self. Yeah, so you shouldn't forget that that you were part of it. The idea is that gave birth to Dawn itself.
If I may ask, you mentioned some headaches, who have been instrumental to, putting together this laudable idea, that has brought together all the 6 states in the Western zone, Western region. Who do you like to mention some of those? Maybe among the academia, or who is in the society, who were part of those?
Quickly, names that will come to mind, the likes of Dr. Tunde Adegbola was very instrumental. We have Dr. Shade Taiwo was very instrumental. We had people from the civil service like Dr. Adegoroye, who was also very instrumental to the work. We had, as I said, you had yourself there as well. was also very instrumental. We had, God, who was filming now? At a point, Professor Wole Soyinka was part of those that he consulted and brought in those ideas. He was also part of that process. If I
think you've mentioned enough.
Yes,
in that
quite critical names in Yoruba land and even in diaspora.
Professor Omole.
Yes, Wale Omole.
Thank you. Was also part of that.
And
Honorable Wale Oshun, Ayo Afolabi, Kule Famoriyo, and a host of others like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just spectacular.
And they were the ones, as I said, because when they came together, it wasn't because they were looking for posts or looking for favors.
They just wanted to serve.
The idea was, look, Western region, the 6 states, need to move at a faster pace. And that's because we had solely now become complacent by relying on oil. I remember that they said, assuming there's no oil tomorrow, what's going to happen to Western Nigeria?
Exactly.
So those are some of the reasons that they said
behind it.
Let us have a commission.
In fact, that brings us to one realization that oil being a single, way that we think we can continue to support ourselves. There are other things, especially in the Western Nigeria, that we can turn into a means for our foreign exchange, earning. Do you like to shed light on some of those that are in Oyo State, that are in Ondo State, in Ogun State, that perhaps we're not paying much attention to, which Dawn Commission has been able to bring to the forefront?
Yeah. See, one major area that I think that, and which we have been projecting for the states,
good,
and it's something that we have not even thought of seriously as a people, and it's in the area of tourism. I just want to start from tourism. And why do I? And I'm glad. I was reading the news item as I was coming in this afternoon that Ekiti State, as an example, is now setting up an Ekiti State Tourism Commission.
Yes.
Fantastic idea. You see, if you're talking of, if you go to Europe, let's use Europe as an example.
Okay. I know you do travel a lot. So.
Take United Kingdom. Every year, people flock to UK. What do they go to there? They go and see Big Ben. Go and look at what's that building called? The Parliament building.
Parliament building.
Some of them will travel out to go to Stonehenge to just look at stones.
Yes, stones, for God's sake.
Meanwhile, if you come to Western Nigeria, we have more than enough tourist attractions. It's basically money sitting down there that we have not tapped. So what we have done at the commission is that we have been able to map out critical tourism locations which we identified and sent back to the states. What we've also designed is what we call a tourism calendar. Yes, it has not been implemented yet, but that tourism calendar, the idea is that if that visitor lands at the airport in Lagos,
at the Muritala airport,
from that airport there, and he opens that calendar, there's maybe one festival or the other that person can visit during his or her stay in the region.
Yes.
So you can move from Ibadan to Osun to Ekiti to Ondo, and there's something happening during that period. So be able to map out all these important festivals, put it together. Hopefully by the time we start paying more attention to tourism. You see, tourism has the potential of generating millions of dollars for us.
Yes.
You see, we have no business worrying if oil price is $1 or 30 cents. We have enough things, and I purposely chose
that we
tourism.
can generate revenue from.
I'll give an example. Here in Ibadan, and I told an audience last week. I said, please tell me the first dual carriageway in Nigeria. First dual carriageway. Some of them were thinking Lagos, Abuja. And I said, no. The first dual carriageway is Queen Elizabeth Road. Here in Ibadan. That's the first dual carriageway in Nigeria. And I said to myself, imagine you set up something around there. You are printing your T-shirts. I visited the first dual carriageway in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah, people selling souvenirs around that place.
Yes, around memorabilia.
Yes, memorabilia. That's the word I'm looking for. People will come from everywhere to visit that place. Think of the income
that will be generated from
the
there.
state. And
Wow.
again, you see, you look at Ikogosi, fantastic.
Yes, Ikoguti
Cold-
water spring in Ekiti State.
Cold and warm water coming out from the
Side by
sources.
side.
Again, that is what that leads me to the other aspect of developing tourism, which is transportation.
Yes.
And why am I saying that?
Logistics.
Because at the Dawn Commission again, where about a month ago we had the summit about developing power and
Yeah,
rail.
I remember
Don't
you
for,
were
now
preparing
that the
for
federal government has even devolved it to the states. You see, the reason we chose power and rail in particular, is
Okay.
that rail has the potential of opening up the interland states so quickly and so easily, so that you can jump on the train in Ibadan and
be
get
in
to
Lagos
Ife, or
in another
Lagos
1 hour.
or Ife or Abeokuta
Yes.
by rail.
Unpatterned.
And the moment there is a proper rail network, the tourism too will develop. Because you can easily get to Oshogbo to go and witness Oshogbo Festival by going on rail,
Like going on rail.
and coming back.
That in itself is a mini vacation.
You might decide I want to go to the Olojo Festival
in Ile-Ife.
in Ile-Ife. You understand?
Or want to go to Ado-Awaye suspended lake in Oyo State.
In Oyo State. You understand, sir? So by the time we develop that rail network, and I'm glad that we are now at a stage where consultants are looking at the feasibility of it, how before we then present it again to our governors. There's already
I know you'll be very passionate about that.
Yeah.
You know, I just like to find out from you, which I'm sure you are well, that our governor in Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, is very keen on tourism as part of his agenda for the 2.0, project.
That was
Have you been interacting with him? Have you been feeding him, with some of your own ideas that can move the state and, of course, the region forward?
Thankfully, Mr. Governor, I'm really grateful he did that.
Yes.
He was in London 3 weeks ago
Yes.
for the Oyo State Investment Summit,
yes.
which I also attended.
Oh, you were there?
I was there.
Oh, wow.
And,
I had the feedback.
And tourism was one of the main things. In fact, when I spoke as well, I spoke on tourism because I was among those that spoke.
Wow.
And I'm glad that Mr. Governor is looking now seriously at the area of tourism for this Omitutu 2.0, because the potential, and I keep saying this, that you see, the narrative has to change in this country.
Yeah, definitely. It can no longer be business as usual.
Look at South Africa.
Yes.
Despite and in spite of the security challenges in South Africa, millions flock there every year.
Every year.
We don't have the security challenges that South Africa has.
Why
Can't we bring more and more tourists here? So that's why I'm glad that someone like Engineer Seyi Makinde, the executive governor for your state, is now saying that tourism is going to be one of the key planks of my government in this second term. Same thing with Mr. Governor in Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Said the same thing. And so, and as I was coming in here, and Governor Ibamiji
is that to say that now we are beginning to see the light? Is that what you will say?
Absolutely. See, look,